In the headlines, an elderly man is held at gunpoint and robbed by masked assailants. The tourism levy bill is pulled back for further review after receiving a backlash from the general public. And a local man says he was shot by police. All this and more is coming up in tonight's broadcast.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
It is Thursday, the 4th of June, 2020. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News Edition on Flow Channel 117, Kiss FM, and our Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Rochelle Gonzalez, standing in for lovely Saint Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. An elderly man was robbed of a boat engine in his Bernards Bay residence at gunpoint by 3 masked assailants on June the 3rd. The elderly victim, Clement Eben, better known as Goodfoot, and his nephew, Fillings George, spoke to Hot 7 on the matter.
Yesterday, between the hours of 2 to 3 a.m., an elderly man in the Banan area, better known as Goodfoot, was robbed at gunpoint. The victim and his nephew gave us an account of what transpired.
About 10 10 you pity la porte qui rentre là you dit moi un bout point encore dans les mains et puis je dis même bailler la clé pour ouvrir caille machine mais me pas tenir que la paix me banning dit monsieur par rapport moi si me pas bailler il aura shoot moi comme ça et que rester là pas la clé moi dit non mal la clé mais ça là je Tunisie et que yo mari dit la même de moi mari dit pied moi.
Ibe says the assailants got away with a 40 horsepower boat motor engine and other valuables belonging to him.
You prend wallet moi, you prend téléphone moi, you prend radio moi tenir là avec un couteau. Et puis un pack cigarette avec un lighter. Pas machine là. Tank là.
Nephew of the victim, Fillings George, says the motor engine belonged to him and was simply in storage at his uncle's place. He indicated that there had been another theft a few years ago.
When I reached there, I asked Goodfoot, hey Goodfoot, ça qui vaut là? Il dit, mon garçon, il a pété là, il a pris machine. Now I seen the first one. The bus there, before that, I had a machine there. They ended up took it, they go with it. So after they took it, they go with it. I ended up buying that other one. I bought it, I make a little storeroom, and I store it inside of it, and I still have a column to chain it. The fellas end up come there with gun, putting gun on my uncle, ask him for keys. The man don't have keys, I just have the key. Putting gun, a lucky thing they kill him. I'm glad that they didn't kill him, but the machine didn't really burn me, because that's life. But I seen for elder man. The man ain't work it. That's our thing we making our daily bread. That just really hurt me, my brother.
George says a report has been launched with the police and he has been given assurances that the matter will be looked into. He says many residents in the area have been victims to theft and it is believed that these crimes are being orchestrated by a young group of men from the area. He is appealing to members of the public to report any suspicious selling of boat engines to the police.
Director of Implementation in the Office of the Prime Minister, Nancy Charles, explained the reasons for the deferring of the tourism levy bill. The bill was debated upon in Parliament on Tuesday. However, it was not sent to Senate on Thursday. Charles said the government is simply deferring and not cancelling the bill. However, certain ambiguities and other genuine concerns with the piece of legislation have to be addressed.
There has been much commotion following Tuesday's parliamentary sitting where a tourism tax levy bill was introduced under the St. Lucia Tourism Authority Amendment Act. Part 1A, Section 27A1 of the bill stated, quote, "A person shall not advertise, offer, or supply an accommodation service unless the person is registered under this act," end quote. Accommodation service in that sense means, quote, "the supply of a service for sleeping accommodation with or without related facilities for consideration," end quote. Many concerns have been raised as to whether this bill will impact persons who rent out small apartments or homes. The bill has been deferred and was not sent to the Senate to be voted on Thursday. Director of Implementation in the Office of the Prime Minister, Nancy Charles, sought to clear the air on the issue of the levy bill and explained what the bill was intended to do.
The tourism levy, as we understand it, is more or less a fee or a levy that is instituted on the visitor as they come to St. Lucia. And it is between, there are ranges and there are tiers, but it is between $3 and $6, and that depends on the size of your property. So contrary to small persons who have the Airbnb and who have smaller places who think that they will be disadvantaged, there's no disadvantage to them. All that happens is that the visitor pays that $3 to you when they arrive. You collect that $3 and you remit the $3 back to the tourism authority so that it can fund its marketing activities.
She explained that persons who provide accommodation services within the local economy are not the target of this bill.
If you have a little apartment and somebody is coming in perhaps from Trinidad or something for Carnival and they spend a week or so and they pay you, this legislation may seem to suggest that these persons are included in there. That is not the intention of the Act. And so if this is what it implies, we have consulted with the Attorney General, then we want to go back and to revisit it and narrow it down so that persons who have their little apartment that they're renting for 3 months or 2 months or even locally rented apartment, which persons have think falls into this as well, we're saying that's not our target.
Charles made the comparison that the registration and principle of the tourism tax levy is similar to that of VAT.
So similarly to VAT, for example, if you are going to collect VAT and remit VAT, you need to now be VAT registered. It is the same principle. If you are going to collect that levy on behalf of the tourism authority from every visitor who comes, you need to register with the tourism authority. Of course, the registration is a very simple process. You can, tourism authority will make the forms available, and there is no fee for registration either. So it's of no cost to you. The provider, the service provider, or the small hotel owner. It's of no cost to you. All we need to know is that legally you are registered so that it gives you the authority to collect that $3 and to remit the $3 back to the tourism authority.
This act actually will work in favor of the registered persons, as they will be able to now enjoy a reduction in VAT from 10% to 7% on the purchase of goods and services within the tourism sector. Another sub-point in the bill was the penalties for non-compliance. Charles further clarified.
And so the person who contravenes the act, it says that person commits an offense and is liable on conviction, on indictment, or a fine not exceeding $100,000. So the fine is not $100,000. It says that they cannot fine you more than $100,000. It can be anything between 0 and 100. However, there has been a lot of concerns as well, and the intention of the act is not to penalize person. The intention of the act is to incentivize you to register so that you can participate and that you can get all the benefits that is associated with it. And so we will be looking and reviewing as to how do we put in a fine or a penalty that is becoming of what the intention is, and how do we ensure that person are incentivized to participate and to register.
The Director of Implementation has assured that persons who are not actively participating in the tourism sector will not be affected. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
A young man has alleged that officers opened fire on him whilst riding his motorcycle on Sunday, May 31st. The 30-year-old says he has no dealings with the law and was simply making his way home.
Given the current unrest all over the world due to a police killing, officers are being looked at under a microscope and are being scrutinized all over for as much as an extra seam in their shirts. However, one young man has indicated that he recently had an encounter with officers of the law and it left him injured. The survivor of an alleged police shooting, Eric James, gave an account of the events that took place on the night of Sunday, 31st May.
I was heading to my home in Vanna. I was coming from Fromage, Marigot. After I went over the speed bumps by the school, there's that sharp bend corner and a stretch ahead of you with a corner in the bottom. While I was riding down the stretch, I saw, right after the corner, I saw an oncoming vehicle. When I got closer to the vehicle swung to my side, which is the left side of the road. I then pulled over to the right, where I was escaping the vehicle. Whilst escaping the vehicle, I realized the blue and yellow tip on the back of the van. I realized it was a double cab Nissan van, a police vehicle. At the same time, there were men in the back of the van with no officer, no police uniform, nothing so, and they just started firing shots at me. Whilst riding, not too long, I felt the hit in my back. I considered I must have been shot.
James indicated that he returned to the scene and then proceeded to the Marigo police station, where he was instructed to get his wounds medically treated. He says the matter is being investigated by the Major Crimes Unit and he is waiting to find out what the outcome will be.
Got back to the scene, there was no one there. I drove to the Marigo police station. I met them gathered in the police station yard, probably about 6 of them thereabout. I was like, what's the issue? What's the problem with me? And y'all just firing shots at me. Am I wanted? None of them wasn't answering. They there with the bulletproof vest and them, the guns in their hand. Until one walked up to me, he introduced himself. He told me he's the supervisor and for my safety, seek medical attention. Go to the hospital. I went to the hospital and I got treated for my wound. I received a call from the Major Crime Unit on Tuesday. They told me, the officer explained himself to me and told me he needed to have an appointment with me, which was yesterday. We went back to the scene. They took photographs, measurements. Then we drove down to the Ancillary police station where they had me to make a statement.
He explained that he has no police record or any issue with officers of the law executing their duties, but he would really appreciate knowing why he was shot at.
That I have no problem with the officers doing the work. My problem is do your job at appropriate manner. They need to do their job more professional. Had the lights been on, they have a light on the top of the van. They can turn on your blue lights. I would see it's a police vehicle. I wanted the bike insured, I have my license. So I don't know what's the problem. Probably because I wasn't wearing a helmet, they shot at me.
James stated that his wounds are not life-threatening. However, he says the matter will not be forgotten easily. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
The killing of African-American George Floyd at the hands, or should that be the knee of a white police officer in May this year, opened up a can of worms which saw the whole world come together to say enough is enough and that racism should end now. Although the incident took place in the United States, this did not stop the tsunami of emotions and reactions from persons around the globe, including right here in St. Lucia. However, some have said that instead of reacting to the affairs of the states, St. Lucians should really rally to tackle injustices on our very own shores. So we asked members of the public whether they thought that locals should leave the matter well alone. Here is what they had to say.
Given the uprisings taking place in the United States due to the unjust killings of blacks by police, we want to know today, do you think St. Lucians should get themselves involved in the Black Lives Matter issues taking place in the United States? Here's what you had to say.
Well, once it's a world thing, you're on planet Earth, you have to get involved, because that doesn't mean because somebody is white, they should be my enemy. So it's the same way as black. So at the end of the day, I think it's a world thing. And these things have been going on a long time. It's because it happened to Floyd in that way, and you get the exposure of people get together to rally. And look, I see in the 4 of them that was involved in the matter, 3 has been charged. So I mean that's a good thing. But here you find these things happen all the time, and yet still sometimes we don't get justice for it. Wrong is wrong any day. So at the end of the day, with the United States, the people over there pushing, even Wicks, Taj Wicks, I mean, he's out there pushing on others that we don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, we should rally behind them, you know, send them an email or send them a little WhatsApp, a little, you know, so let them know at least we behind them.
Good morning, people, and I'm supporting anything that black people are doing. Because my name is Kunta Kinte, and I'm proud to be black and proud of black. We will not involve if we don't have a purpose to. I would not like St. Lucians to involve in things that not concerning us. We need to concentrate on COVID-19 that is affecting us.
Well, in this case, it's about skin color. It doesn't matter your nationality. This is something that is happening on a global scale. This is where all countries of the world must unite to understand that we are fighting for one race, which is humanity. And COVID taught us that as a race, it doesn't matter what your skin color is. It can take anybody at any moment, at any time. So the Black Lives Matter protest is very important for us as a country, actually. We need to stand with the world, not only the United States, but with Germany, with England, with everybody around the world with the same skin color as you and I. We need to stand with them and create a platform for everyone to speak out on. Because if we go to these countries now and we have those skin colors, we will be targeted too. So it's not about African American or what's your nationality, it's about your skin color. And this is something that we have to stand and make a point across, that all lives, doesn't matter if it's black or white or whatever, all lives matter at all costs.
I'm saying that we are affected indirectly, you understand? It is our business. We cannot say this is not our business. I mean, we are all meshed, as Dr. Martin Luther King said. We are all meshed together as one, you know, one people, one nation. So this black man, you know, that got killed, this sent a signal to everyone around the world, right? That everyone should be, you know, should be treated equal. And this is very, very unfortunate, you understand? And I'm saying that this is our business as well because we are affected indirectly.
Must know that racism must be stamped out wherever it exists, and that we must fight against the fascists and the evil and the barbarism that have to do with difference in skin color, and to know that until the philosophy which hold one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, then we will protest against all forms of oppression, and that all around the world people should lift up their voices in protest and in demonstration, and we will even fight if it's necessary, and we will know that we will win, for we are confident in the victory of good over evil, for racism is evil.
Yes, we should sympathize. I want you to understand me. Sympathize. We should sympathize. I don't know if it's take a kneel or if it's a little parade or whatever, but we should sympathize, and I don't think anybody should find a problem in that.
The thing that happened in America, we have to get involved in it because that's our color, our national. So if we was the one that get themselves in that position there, is it something they will do us? So they should do something with the white people, man. They're racist.
Well, it's everybody's business. It's everybody's business. Everybody. We are all black people, so we should get involved. But solutions, they are too cowardly. Doesn't do anything. They're afraid to take actions for anything. They're afraid to speak out. That's solutions on the whole. They speak on Facebook, but when it's time to take actions, they don't do nothing about anything.
Even here, we should see signs of, you know, not just George Floyd, but at the end of the day, they have other people that we know it happening right here. So wrong is wrong any day. And at the end of the day, with COVID and everything, some people take these things to capitalize on this. You know, they take the COVID situation sometimes to capitalize on this. And I'm just saying, somebody didn't have to lose their life like this, because this little girl that he has, you know, is fatherless right now. And the family is both families, you know, the policemen families and George Floyd families. So at the end of the day, it's not the right thing to do.
From all accounts, Black lives do matter. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Stay with us, because when we come back, George Floyd is laid to rest. Politicians are warned to mind their words as their utterances tell a story of their characters, and strict protocol is put in place with the reopening of schools.